And I said to the chief, I need the bird, which means we'll need LifeFlight coming there.
Standish Engine 21, Engine 3, Rescue 3 for a Volvo versus a dump truck with airbag deployment. It's a Delta level response.
We were approaching the intersection up the street here, and the dispatcher came back on and advised that the second caller could not see the driver or the driver's seat under the dump truck.
So we are being advised that they can't see the driver's seat of the Volvo and believe there's going to be entrapment.
They were trying to pop doors off of her, and I was kind of wedged in the middle.
You couldn't even see the patient, you could just barely see her head.
Started to do a dash lift from the passenger side.
I could tell that her left femur was broken just by the swelling and the way the leg was.
We couldn't grab anything worthy to lift, and the spreaders actually ended up getting stuck in the dash, so we just couldn't get them out. One of my captains called and on the radio and asked if he wanted me to have him grab the battery tools.
Then we noticed that I think her other femur was fractured as well. We didn't know whether she was pregnant or not, but her belly was a little bit distended.
The cutting and the spreading and everything we did with those battery tools was just so much faster and so much quicker. When we really got there, we did not expect the patient to survive. Hi there, I'm Chief Rob Cairn, Standish Fire Department. I've been here since October of 1990, worked my way up through the ranks, becoming a deputy chief for quite a few years and taking over as the full-time chief in December of 2014. I actually moved to Standish in '89. Didn't really know a lot of people, and the fire trucks kept driving by the house every day, so I kind of ventured my way up there and ended up joining. And awful slow back then. It wasn't as many calls as there is now, but it was always fun, helping people, and the calls are a heck of a lot more than they were, come a lot more frequent than they did back in 1990, that's for sure.
My name is Captain Rachel Jupe. I've been with Standish for 19 years. Been in the business for like 24 years. We're working in different departments. I work in an apartment downtown, and this one's a little bit different because we don't have as many people. A lot of people are new coming in here, so there's a little bit less experience. So it's a lot more diverse than working in other places. We have a lot more serious calls where we have to do it a lot more with less people. So you kind of have to think out of the box a little bit.
My name is Tasha Pinko. I'm the town manager for Standish, and I've been here about 2 years. I feel like my job as manager is to support my directors, and I try to get into each department and know about it. So I have gone on a call, and really, they're busy. I mean, what the average person would run from, they go to.
Like I said, it was a really hot day with very low manpower. Somebody had gone home sick that day, so it was just the paramedic on the ambulance, and I was here. The call ended up being like literally down the street from my house. So I was like, end of the day, 4:30, I'll just take my vehicle. Well, then I realized there's nobody here.
I was here on my own with the chief, I believe. He jumped in Engine 21, I jumped in Rescue 1. We were heading up and they said, dump truck versus vehicle. I think they said no injury. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then as we were going further down the road, they said they couldn't find anybody in the vehicle, which was kind of weird for us. And then things said, I thought they said someone trapped in the vehicle, so we kind of got going a little bit more.
So I was actually just coming through the corner up there, that main corner in Standish, and I saw my dad go by in the fire truck, so I was kind of like, wonder why he's driving the truck when he has a car. So I looked at my phone, saw the crash, and it just seemed like a basic crash.
The intersection that we were dispatched to, we do get a lot of like rear end collisions there, low speed impacts. We left here, we were approaching the intersection up the street here, and the dispatcher came back on and advised that the second caller could not see the driver or the driver's seat under the dump truck.
I remember just getting there, pulling in behind my dad and looking at the car, and I just remember kind of looking at my dad going, what the heck? Because you couldn't even see the patient, you could just barely see her head.
When we got there, I remember rounding the corner and seeing the dump truck in the middle of the road, and then the vehicle, from where I looked, from my view, the front end was under the dump truck. So I got out of the rescue, walked around. So I started off on the passenger side, walked around the rear, came to the driver's side, and saw the patient kind of twisted like this. This leg was kind of up like that, and my head was over here.
There was no way we had the manpower or the equipment at the time to lift the dump truck.
And I realized that this was going to be a pretty long extrication. And I said to the chief, I need the bird, which means we'll need LifeFlight coming there. It's the first time in my career I've ever had to call for LifeFlight.
Just as we were getting her out of the car and putting her in the back of the ambulance just to stabilize her a little bit better, the helicopter was circling over. We thought it would be there for hours, honestly. We did not expect the patient to survive.
I don't really remember much of that day because of my head injury from the accident, but all I do know about that day is from what my mother has told me. And I remember 2 days prior. So I was at my grandparents' camp, which is also in Standish on Watchick Pond, with my daughter. We went and saw ducks, and we swam on the swing, we went swimming. And that morning of my accident, I did macrame. I put my daughter down for a nap. My mom came over when my daughter was taking a nap, dropped some groceries off, and I had somewhere to be, like on a Zoom call. And once my daughter woke up from her nap, I followed my mom out, and that's when it happened. I don't really know how it happened. I was probably distracted with my daughter in the back, but according to the two nurses who happened to be behind me, I just swerved and ran head-on into a dump truck that was full of dirt. About 2 weeks ago, when we had gone to my grandparents' camp, the road that we came back to our house on was the road that I got in my accident on, and that was the first time I'd actually cried about the accident because it was horrific and it could have been so much worse. It's a negative, but it's also a positive because I'm still here to think about it and talk about it and to see my daughter still. I'm grateful for all of the people and the tools and everything that lined up so perfectly when I had gotten in my accident. It's really nice to be able to thank the people who truly save lives, and they're like real life heroes. Keep your loved ones close. Be grateful for every single second of every day. I didn't think it'd be possible for me to walk, run, jump, think, sit up straight, and here I am.